Hey friends, I had a little fun idea because it's no secret that I love all my walks, right? I think I talk about my special little walks, my hot girl walks, whatever you want to call them, the way I used to cope in practically all of my episodes. And when I'm on these walks, what I love about them and what makes me such an advocate for them is that my brain is just free flowing. It's like I'm journaling, but I'm not writing it down. And I do journal, but my mind's always going faster than the pen, and I'm writing down words ahead of where they should be in the sentence, and it just gets really confusing. But when I'm walking, I just find this mental clarity, I guess. And I'm currently walking up a hill, and I am kind of losing my breath. And yes, I am really embarrassed about that, but that is besides the point. You know what, guys? Life's a hill, and you gotta overcome it, one step at a time. I'm taking it one step at a time, and I'm nearing the top of this hill. But can't you see the difference? I am so frustrated in these podcast episodes, the past ones, because I have so much I want to say, and when I'm on my walks before I film, I say it in a different way, in a way that I find personally is much more effective, is much more insightful, and just sounds more confident, Who wants to be taking advice from someone that's not confident? So I decided that I would try going on a walk and just bringing you guys with me. And we're just going to talk about whatever comes to my mind, because that's what I love about these walks. Anything can come to my mind. I don't know where you are right now, but for me, I'm looking at a bunch of snow covering some hills and some houses. I'm not seeing many animals, but I'm hearing some birds chirping. I don't know if you get in the background. It's a sunny day with blue sky, so I think it's going to be a great day for me. And I think it is going to be a great day for you too, and I don't feel that way very often. I wouldn't say I have the most glass half full approach to life, but it's something I'm working on, so you can work on it with me. What I noticed yesterday is just how detached from life I feel, how detached and unenthused by life I feel. Everything feels so lackluster for some reason. I go on Netflix, right? There's no show I want to watch except Community, maybe. I go on Spotify, and the songs that I once loved, they don't pack the same punch. And I don't know if it's that I've just gotten over them or what, but I'm not resonating with anything going on. I'm not resonating with just life and this whole idea of being in school, high school all your life, or elementary school, and then going to college, and then going to get a job, and then maybe going to grad school, and then you're in whatever kind of business you want to work at. And that's the life that I was always told, or that's the life I was surrounded by. That's the life that I expected that I had to live. But recently, with everything going on in my life, my parents and I have really been talking and being there's other options out there. I found out my aunt, rest in peace, she was the coolest lady ever, and she rode horses, and she snuck a homing pigeon across the Canadian border and made it a messenger pigeon for her and her brother. She was pretty cool, so I hear. But she didn't go to college. She competed in horse shows, and that's how she made her money. And I don't have a skill like that, but just to know that there is success in not the most, I'd say, conservative of ways, because I grow up and I'm since I've been young, I've said I wanted to be a lawyer, and now I'm maybe I want to be a psychiatrist, but I'm also I'm literally failing to get through high school. My brain is breaking. How am I ever going to get through law school? How am I ever going to get a PhD and all these things? And it's scary, but I also realize that it's not the only way. I was just surrounded by people my entire life. I was in this bubble where everyone thought that was the only way, or that was the only reality that they had lived. So so it was the only reality that they thought could bring them success. But that's not true. And if you're someone out there that's, just doesn't feel like college is for them, or that the whole 9-to-5 life is for them, that's because it doesn't freaking have to be. Oh, hi, squirrel. There was a squirrel. I'm naming him Jerry. Is that basic? I don't know. Anyways, as I was saying, you don't gotta follow, like, the conservative path or the path that you were taught growing up. There really is so many other options now, and it is gonna probably be harder, and you may fail a couple times, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. There's so many people that have been successful in that way. So why can't it be you? Why can't it be me, right? I just think, why do I always look at myself and I automatically assume I can't be the exception, I can't be this exceptional person that defies the status quo or defies the standard. But you know what? Like, every other person that did defy the status quo, a lot of them didn't think they could at first, but they grew confidence over time. And the only reason I think I can't do it, or that you may think that you can't do it, is ultimately that we just have such a lack of self-respect. And that's something that I'm really trying to work on now, because I recognize the way I talk to myself. I recognize the way that I just immediately consider myself a failure, or tell myself something's ugly, wrong, deplorable, whatever the case may be. And I want to stop doing that, because it doesn't feel good. Like, I don't enjoy that, and I know it's making me feel worse. But it's been so many years of me and others telling me that it's really, really hard to turn the mind. And I'm working with my therapist to do it, but I'm just accepting that I can't do it all at once. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and have all this confidence in myself. But I can slowly change the way that I talk to myself every day. And if I say, you're effing stupid, I can be like, well, let's look at it another way. You know how teachers, always redirect if you give a wrong answer, and some really just don't want to tell you, no. My physics teacher said that in teaching school, they taught him never to tell a kid that they're wrong, but just to always redirect them, which I think is ridiculous, but I think on, a personal level is a good principle, because your instincts are never wrong, but the way you express them and you express your feelings, that can change. And another thing that I found is, the reason I think I'm such a failure is because I don't consider myself to have something I'm good at necessarily. I'm not, I'm not top basketball, lacrosse, soccer champion. I'm not a 3-sport athlete. I'm not even captain of the team of the sport that I do play for, and that's fine because I love it and I love the people. But I've also always defined myself by grades, for example. And when you realize, oh, you're not the best, or there's people just like you, or the amount of work you put in to get there isn't sustainable, you have to look to other things to be proud of. And I said, I know that my main goal in life is to help people. That's all I want. That's why I created this podcast. That's why I have my vlog, It doesn't matter how many people, but I've realized slowly, and with the help of others who have told me this, I think one thing that I'm good at is giving advice. And because I want to help people, that gives me a lot of confidence. I think, maybe I am doing something right. Or, maybe I do have a purpose on this world after all. I'm not saying I'm God and all my advice is perfect. I mean, we've heard the past podcast episodes and my voice is trembling. But I slowly started implementing more consistently things that utilize the skill of helping people or giving advice or talking to others and just being with others to fulfill me and give myself stuff to be proud of. And not just for my confidence, but also I'm tired of being on my phone, And so one way is with my blog, I've been more consistent in doing posts, kind of, I guess, revealing, going behind the scenes of my eating disorder and hoping someone will resonate it, or discussing how to help those with an eating disorder, or starting to get more comfortable with the podcast and becoming more consistent. And I think this whole walk thing, so long as the wind isn't canceling out everything I've been saying, I think this could be a sweet little gig we've got going on. Oh, we're approaching the elementary school now, guys. We're approaching the school, and I'm seeing some snowmen in the wild. I gotta stay back. They're dangerous. Oh, they're defenseless. They have no arms. And no noses. I think they're dead. But I hope those kids had fun. I also think it's funny that there's a no sledding sign when I saw about 100 kids sledding there the other day. Anyways, all I'm saying is find what you think, either what you genuinely think you're good at, and that may not be what others tell you you're good at, but what personally makes you feel fulfilled, whether that be art, whether it be music, a sport, content creation, whatever, I don't care, writing, find that and put some freaking energy towards it. Give yourself a chance to feel better and to explore that passion, because who knows, maybe you'll be the next Ernest Hemingway, I don't know, the next Jane Austen. I hate that those were the first two people to come to my brain, but I should have said Toni Morris. I was talking the other day, because I love writing, I love reading, but the first book that changed the way I thought about writing and actually made me see it as an art as opposed to a subject, I guess, or a way of communication, is reading Beloved. And holy, her use of symbolism is just beautiful, and the dynamicism of it all, and she is just brilliant. And same with The Great Gatsby did that for me too, which they're completely different books, but they just inspired me, and so I started writing. I didn't know what I was writing about, but I was writing based on my experiences, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, but it was fun. And that's the thing, you can try things and they don't have to go places. You don't have to be afraid of failure, because people aren't going to see everything. Do you know how many drafts these people went through, or how many canvases Picasso probably threw away? I hope not too many, because they were annoying as heck to make, but you get what I'm getting at. Another thing that I've just been questioning lately, I guess, and I think it does have to do with confidence a lot, is just, I was off my phone for a while and away from social media, and I'd forgot what my Instagram looked like, for example, and what my TikTok feed looked like. And I got home, I got my phone, and I went back on these apps, and I was like, does the way I present myself online reflect the way that I view myself, or that others view me? And I just noticed how little you really know. Because I have posts up with people who I literally cannot, I like imagining their face, like, ugh. But I don't know why I haven't taken it down, and like, maybe it's because I'm like afraid of not looking like I have friends, I don't really know, but I just looked at all these pictures, and I'm like, first of all, I look happy, I look like I have a bunch of friends, like, I look not like I think about I do in my head, if that makes sense, you know? And it just made me, like, feel weird and, like, really guilty, honestly, that I'm kind of feeding into the internet lies that I talk about hating so much. But I think we're all victims of doing it because there is this general fear. And I know my town, like, the town I grew up in, for example, is so, like, presentation focused, and how do people perceive me, and how do I make myself look like the best. And I transferred schools, and, like, just the difference in culture of, like, how people force photos all the time in one ecosystem versus the other was so interesting to me. And, like, the fake friendships versus the general acceptance, and the way that one place spoke with so much hate and disgust for others when they knew nothing about them. It made me sick. And that wasn't just the only reason I transferred, but I transferred to a smaller school, and it's so different. And obviously it's not a utopia, you know? There are people that still talk shit, but, like, I don't associate with them, you know? I also just think it's part of, like, being at this age and being a teenager, because we're all kind of just living in fear of, like, everyone else's opinions of us, right? And of our opinions of ourselves. So I'm not saying it is a bad thing, but I think it's inevitable at the same time. I think we all need to be more aware of it and recognize it, because I know I certainly said things in my head that I would never say out loud, and I think others could benefit by investing in a filter. But, you know, we can't undo what's been done. I'm not gonna judge these people. Like, I don't hold it against these people, because I know these people, and they're, for the most part, good people. Another thing I want to say about going to my new school, and this is more on the subject of self-sabotage, which I've gone into either in the video that comes out before or after this. But I was so depressed, and I isolated myself, and I had myself convinced that I was so just unlikable and undesired that all these supposed quote-unquote friends I had around me were just doing it and talking to me out of necessity, or because they thought that that's what they should be doing, if that makes sense. But the truth is, no one's gonna waste their breath on you. Very few people are that nice, or really that mean, you know, to lead someone on and make them think they're a friend for that long. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I was gone from school for a while, and I returned, and I realized, oh shit, these people actually do care about me. I had stopped myself from seeing that. And when I thought that, you know, these people were like the ones not reaching out for plans and all that stuff, while that is true, a lot of my perception of their perceptions of me was just me projecting. And so I just want to warn against you projecting what you think of yourself onto how other people perceive you. Because at the end of the day, how we think people perceive us is just a perception of the other person, right? And so there's a lot of miscommunication and false truths that could be going on, and mistranslations that could go on. So yeah, just watch out, protect your peace, give yourself more credit, because y'all are more amazing than you'll ever know. And I know so many people that hate themselves so much and cannot see the beautiful qualities and the innate brilliance within them, but can absolutely see it in everyone else. And so I know they're capable of seeing it in themselves. And this is something I'm working on. And it's something we can work on together. But I just want you to know, if you are struggling with it, it deep down, you can do it. Because you have this beautiful sense of recognition and of deeper perception of people. And you just have to extend that same kindness and respect to yourself. It's not easy, and it takes fighting back a lot of years, or a lot of months, or whatever, of negative self-talk, or negative talk from others, parents, teachers, friends, whatever, or bullies rather. But we can do it. I know we can. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not done with my walk yet, but I just kind of want to play in the snow, I think, like a little kid. Oh my god, there's like a headlight in the middle of the street. What the heck? See something new every day, I guess. Okay. Well, I hope that person didn't get into a crash, and I hope none of you get into car crashes, and I hope that you all have a splendid however long until I see you again, which is hopefully like less than a week. But just know you're awesome and that I'm right there with you. Alright, peace out, guys. Love you, and thank you for tuning into Onward. This is Emily, over and out.